Confession time, I hoard my own hand-dyed yarn. Hello, I'm Kristen, also known as Voolenvine, here on my YouTube channel, on Instagram, on Ravelry, and pretty much everywhere else on the interwebs. And as always, thank you so much for taking some time out to chat about all the knitting, all the sewing, all the making, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down this week. I have a very fun show for you guys this week. I have some knitting to share with you. I have some sewing as per usual. I have some books. I have a lot of things to chat about this episode, I think. So I think you're in for a treat if you're down for that. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm extra shiny today. It is a hot one here in Brooklyn, New York, where I hail from, and the struggle has been real. So if I do appear a little bit more shiny this week, just know that it's pushing 90 degrees Fahrenheit where I am right now. The windows are open just to kind of keep the breeze going, but I don't think that's really doing much. So, you know, we're working with it, we're rolling with it, and that's how it's gonna go this week. So anyway, as usual, we have some knit-alongs that are happening, which you can join in by hopping over to the Voolenvine Ravelry group. It's the place to be, as I mention every week. If you wanna partake in those make-alongs, join the conversation, and just general chatter around episodes or ask questions, share your projects. It's a very, very lively, happening, hopping group. So definitely check that out if the spirit moves you. We have the Year of the Garment knit-along happening, we have the Box of Socks knit-along happening, and the Uncomfort Zone knit-along happening. And in the spirit of moving things forward, I will not get into too much detail about those. You can find all the information about that over in the Voolenvine Yarns Ravelry group. All the links to that are below. All right, so before I get into what I've been making this week, just a quick word from my wonderful and amazing sponsor, Skillshare.
Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in design, business, tech, and more, even sewing and the fiber arts. I love learning new things when it comes to knitting, sewing, photography, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down. And because I know you love learning new things too, I partnered up with Skillshare, and they are offering my viewers 2 months free to try their platform. So give Skillshare a go and learn something new. Just click on the link in the description box below, entering the code at checkout, and enjoy. And thanks, Skillshare.
And welcome back. All right, I have not put a dent in this at all, but I'm going to talk about it because I don't think I'm going to finish it. And that is my Ripple Bralette by Jessie Martinson. And again, this pattern is super cute, nothing wrong with the pattern. But again, it's just been so incredibly stagnant and hot here in Brooklyn. Knitting on a woolly camisole bralette top is not what's kind of moving me at the moment, if that makes any sense. I don't know. But also, again, in hindsight, before I cast this on, I went into it full well knowing that I might not even, I don't really wear knitted tank tops. Just the idea of wearing like a woolly tank or bralette in summer. But I am one of those people that are prone to, you know, when you see everyone else casting on all the things, that you get so excited about it that it's like, oh, I want to make one of those too. But, you know, it's like, even before I cast this on, I had one of those knee-jerk reactions like, I'm never gonna wear it. I'm never gonna wear it. But I just cast it on because it seemed like such a fun project. So I cast it on. And the whole time I'm knitting this, I'm just like, you know, I had that thought in the back of my mind. I'm like, it's just not gonna, it's not jiving with me. But I was gonna persevere. I was on vacation. I was gonna knit it. And then I tried it on. Didn't fit the way I wanted it to, so I ripped it back, kept knitting on it, and still, you know, it's been so incredibly hot here that I haven't been wanting to work on it, and during that time I've let it marinate, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna finish it. So yeah, sadly, I'm gonna be ripping the Ripple Bralette out, unfortunately, and I will obviously be repurposing the yarn to knit a pair of socks. This is Barnyard Knits. In their Winterberry colorway. It's yarn that I picked up from Vogue Knitting Live this past January. And yeah, so, you know, it's, again, nothing to do with the pattern. It's an adorable pattern. So many people are knitting it, and I've seen so many beautiful versions of it. It's just not the pattern for me. I think in the future, I'm probably going to try knitting her Ripple tank. I think it's a ripple crop top. It's in the same vein as this, where it's like ribbed, and it, you know, when you knit it up, it's like, it looks super tiny, but it stretches out to be like a complete full crop top, which I think is really cool. So, you know, I will again link to this pattern below if you want to knit one of your own, or just her other patterns, because I think she's, you know, she's definitely up and coming and has like a lot of great patterns already out there that I think you should check out. So yeah, that is the fate of my Ripple Bralette slash tank. Yeah, I think if I were to knit this, I would probably knit it out of linen, but I don't know. I don't have any linen that I would want to knit. I have like one skein of linen in my stash that, I don't know, I kind of want to save it for something else, and I don't want to have to go out and buy more yarn, because let's face it, I have a lot of yarn, and I really need to just kind of de-stash down a little bit. I already de-stashed a lot of my own personal Voolenvine yarn stash, because I was already having Sable, which is, if you're not familiar with that acronym, it's stash acquisition beyond life expectancy with my own hand-dyed yarn, because confession time, I hoard my own hand-dyed yarn. I'm not gonna lie, I hoard it sometimes. I dye a colorway and I have grand plans for it, and I just never end up getting around to knitting that. So I pulled out a whole bunch of yarn for my stash and sold it in a de-stash last week. So anyone who purchased those skeins and gave that new yarn, that yarn a new home, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you tag me and let me know what you make with it, because, you know, I want to see my babies grow up, you know? Yeah, that would be nice. And we are on to sewing. All right, so guys, I'm energized today. This is good. This is good. I like this energy that I'm feeling. Anyway, yeah, some weeks I'm good. Some weeks I'm kind of tired. Other weeks I'm super energetic and, you know, whatever. But I think I've leveled out this week. It's good. It's good. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, we've moved along to sewing, and this week I have a new finished object to share with you. So let's talk about it. You can't see it because it's on the lower half of my body. So let me stand up. Okay, you're not going to be able to see this skirt in all its glory, but take my word for it. It is the Zinnia skirt by Colette Patterns. It is a knee-length button-down skirt sewn out of the black linen fabric that I showed you last week. It is an exact replica of, or well, you know, I'll talk about the alterations I made, but it's the same style skirt that I was wearing last week that I shared with you. I sewed view A, but omitted the front pockets that the pattern calls for, and inserted side inseam pockets on the side. And I love it. I love it, guys. So let me sit down so you can see my face. Hello. So yeah, as I mentioned, last week I was wearing the gray version that I made of it, the first version, and while I wear that skirt all the time, it gets lots of wear, I did tweak it a little bit. So I did shorten the skirt about 3 inches from the shortening line on the pattern, and then I took out maybe, I want to say like ½ an inch from the waistline, because it was sagging just a little bit on me below, like the waistband on the gray version kind of sits right below my belly button, and it kind of, you know, because of the drape, it kind of sags a little bit, but not much. This is a more lightweight fabric, I want to say. So, I mean, it is still linen, but it doesn't have as much nylon content in it. But yeah, what did I want to say? Where was I? My brain just checked out for a second. Does that happen to you? Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I shortened it 3 inches, which I think was just a little too short for me, because when I finished the skirt, it fell, I want to say, like right at my kneecap. So if I were to hem it anymore, like if I were to hem it the way the pattern suggested me to hem it, it would have been way more short than I intended it to be. So what I did was, my dirty little secret when it comes to hem cheats, so what I did was I serged the edge of the skirt, the bottom, and then I pressed it in towards, just along the serge line, I pressed it in towards the wrong side, and then I stitched it on the right side down. So it was a very, like, my narrow hem cheat, if you will. It's not a proper narrow hem, baby rolled narrow hem. This is the, you know, the ready to wear super quick version of hemming the bottom of a skirt. So, but it serves it well. It's black, and honestly, this is such a casual skirt for me. It's just my, you know, a skirt I can chuck on during the week. It has pockets. I can put my iPhone in, run around the house while I'm working, and I love this thing to death. But anyway, yeah, that is my Zinnia skirt version 2. I definitely plan on making another one. And I was thinking that we could maybe have a sew along for the Zinnia skirt, since I do plan on making a third version. So let me know what you guys think, if you want me to kind of sew a little sewing tutorial for the Zinnia skirt, because it is such a great great pattern. It's very beginner friendly. So, you know, I think the buttonholes are the most complicated part, but it would be cool to kind of like incorporate a tutorial on how to do buttonholes with your sewing machine. So let me know in the comments below if that's something you guys would be into. When I do make the second one, I think I'm gonna lengthen it again, maybe by, you know, 1.5 inches possibly, because I do like that extra length. I like my skirts to come like either, you know, like right, like especially summer skirts, I like them to come like below the knee, if that makes sense. So that's just me, because my legs do curve in a little bit, so when skirts sit, you know, above my kneecap, I don't know, it's like I'm very conscious about my the shape of my knees, so I feel like having a longer skirt kind of balances all that out. So yeah, that is my Zinnia skirt. In case you're wondering about this top, this is a pattern by République du Chiffon, one of my favorite independent pattern companies. They are French, they're based in Paris, and a lot of their patterns are in French. Some of them are still like, I haven't been translated into French or are in the process of being translated into English. So did I say, okay, a lot of them haven't been translated into English, and some of them are in the process of being translated into English, but a lot of their patterns just speak to me on so many levels, and this is one of the first ones that I made by them. I did use Google Translate and my previous sewing knowledge to kind of get me through, but when all was said and done, this was such a simple pattern to whip up. I'm blanking on the name of this pattern, but of course I'll pop it in one of the sliding bars at the side of the screen so you can know what I'm talking about. But yeah, let me stand up again. It's kind of like a drop sleeve tee, I want to say, and you know, it has like, I sewed it using challis fabric, one of my favorite fabrics to sew with, and it has like this really cool butterfly print on it. If you look really closely, it kind of has like mesh netting, and it looks like butterflies over lace. It's just really cool, and has like this tie right here. And then this is actually really perfect for summer. It goes really great over a pair of jean shorts, because you get a little ventilation in here. I actually pinned it closed, because when I was walking out of the street, if it's really windy, I give everyone a show. So to remedy that, I just put a little pin inside to keep things just a little bit more private. So yeah, I love this top to death. The only gripe that I have about it is that the fabric wrinkles really easily. So every time I want to wear this shirt, I have to iron it, and that's one thing that I value in fabric. If a fabric is not prone to wrinkles, I'm all for it. Which is why I'm surprised I really love this skirt, because linen is known to wrinkle like crazy. But I think the nylon, I don't know, something about again, I'm trying to stay away from nylon content in fabrics lately, but I feel like the nylon content in this fabric helps with the wrinkles a little bit. But yeah, anyway, I like it. It's, you know, whatever. I'm really all about this outfit today. It makes me so happy. So, yes, that is my ensemble today. I do have a small fabric haul to share with you guys, so let me go get that. What's an episode without a fabric haul or a yarn haul? I don't know. But earlier this week, I had a doctor's appointment. Nothing serious. I just had to go in for a checkup, follow-up visit. It's all fine. But my doctor's office happens to be close to the fashion fabric district in Manhattan. So, you know, it's not super close, but I had to get on a train, and you know, a couple stops over, I was suddenly in the fashion district, and I thought, you know what, it was already the middle of the day. I was gonna get home, and I wouldn't be able to get any work done anyway, so I just decided to hop on over there and finally burst my Mood Fabrics cherry. Growing up in New York City my entire life and having never been to Mood Fabrics, I had to remedy that. And yeah, Tuesday was the day that I broke my Mood Fabrics cherry. And it was good. It was so good, you guys. Just going in there was like, I mean, I know some people are a little, you know, like, it's all right. It's just so popular and blah, 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 and expensive, blah, blah, blah. I've never been there before, and just going in there, it was just 3 floors of fabrics. People were in there, they were excited, they were, you know, just so happy to be there shopping for fabric. I mean, of course you had your industry people there that were, there were just so many people dressed so cool, and I don't know, I can't describe it. It was awesome. It was really, really cool. So of course I, you know, because I didn't have Dennis with me, I could just kind of take my time and peruse, and I didn't have any patterns in mind, but I just kind of walked around and see what struck my fancy. This fabric really stood out to me first, and it just had to come home to me. And here it is. You guys, how freaking awesome is this fabric? There's the right side. It is, I want to say, like this silk burnout fabric in this glorious shade of kind of like a, it is, I would say this is mauve. It's more of like a burnt umber mauve, I want to say, that airs on the red side. But yeah, it's sheer. It has this really kind of cool, I want to say, yeah, I don't know, it almost has like a jersey look to it, I want to say, but it's silk, and it's just so beautiful. And the designer is actually Anna Sui, which, if you're not familiar, she's a very, very famous fashion designer, and I love everything she does. And you know, since growing up, I always wanted to be a fashion designer, and she was like one of the people I looked up to. I was like, ah, it's so cool. So anyway, I was really excited to find out that she, you know, she had her label on this. So I purchased 2 yards of this. It's so pretty. So there's that, and then I went, there were like 3 floors, so I was going up and down, and I stumbled on this fabric, and I just really, I was drawn to it. So yeah, this is kind of like not a totally black, but it's kind of like a charcoal dark gray eyelet, and yeah, again, see-through. And yeah, the first thing that came to mind for this was a Lizzie skirt, and it's going to lie horizontally. And then I found a lining to go with it. It's a light lining, but I thought it's kind of like this very light kind of purplish gray mauve. I don't know how well the camera is picking that up, but if you lay it over, it has this really cool kind of lace effect to it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, it'll, you know, kind of have that effect. Yeah, so I'm really excited about it. So yeah, so this is just a cotton, and you'll be surprised, I surprised myself, because there's so many reams of, or bolts I should say, of fabric to go through there. And the last fabric that I showed you was on the main floor, and then I went downstairs and was browsing and stumbled on this. And when I pulled out the tag to see how much it was, and you know, what the designer was, or you know, the make, or the fiber content, what have you, it was also by Anna Sui. Apparently I just have really good taste. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, this is another Anna Sui fabric, and I just thought, okay, it's a done deal. So I purchased that, and the lining, which I think is just like their own in-house, it's just a basic voile, I want to say. Is it voile or voile? I always want to say voile, but it could also be voile. I've heard both. I don't know, what have you. But anyway, I'm gonna go with voile. But yeah, it's just a very light kind of cotton, or poplin. It could also be poplin. I forgot. Anyway, it's a very lightweight cotton fabric, so very excited about that. And then I also treated myself to some more fabric. I had to return some fabric to them recently. The Liberty fabric with the stars, and another thing that was just not my color. I returned that. But then of course, you know, you find yourself back on fabric.com and purchasing more yarn in it, more fabric in its place. So this has kind of been on my radar for this fabric has been, every time I see it, I want to get it, but I never jump on it. But I know cotton and steel is not really around anymore, or I don't know what's happening with cotton and steel, but they're not producing any new prints at the moment, I don't believe. I think they're going through some transition or something. I don't know the whole story, but this was on their website, and I just decided, you know what, I better just stock up on it and get it. It's quilting cotton, but I think it would make for a really cute kind of, you know, Brumby skirt by Megan Nielsen, or even another Zinnia skirt. Just, you know, a fun little print to kind of knock around the house in, or, you know, go out on the weekend, what have you. But yeah, they're kind of like these bumblebees or yellow jackets, or actually no, they are moths. They are moths, my friends. But not the evil moths that eat our yarn, but the pretty moths, I want to say. So anyway, I got that. And then, of course, I got this, which I think is the same fabric Gabby from Once Upon a Corgi has. She made a Zinnia skirt out of it, but I saw it and I had to get it because, come on, guys, it's a haunted graveyard with Victorian dresses all over it, and, you know, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. Also by Cotton and Steel, but they have like little ghosts, little skulls and bones and black cats, and need a Halloween skirt, don't I? Yeah. All right. So there's that. And then I also purchased some jersey fabric, just to make some basic t-shirts and tank tops. I'm not going to show those this week, but take my word for it, it's basic jersey. I got it in green and gray. And then I also got this fabric, which is a heather gray rib, which I've never worked with before, but I have this one pin on my Pinterest board, and I'll pop a photo of it on the side, but I absolutely love this outfit. She's got like a long sleeve jersey t-shirt, and it has like metal button snaps down the center, and then this gorgeous kind of like silk gathered skirt underneath, and I just think that would be like the cutest fall outfit. So I purchased a pattern from Simplicity, or actually it is by Simplicity, but I bought it on Amazon. It was way cheaper on there. And I got these snaps to go with it. While I was at it, I also got these snaps. It's like just a kit of, I want to say rivets or snap buttons that, you know, come in different colors. So you have like gold, silver, antique bronze, and black. So yeah, I'm gonna be making one of those at some point. Maybe not soon, but in the near future, using that ribbed fabric, and I'm gonna recreate that outfit. So yeah, that is sewing, my friends. So that was a lot of information overhaul, or a lot of information overload, I want to say. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. And again, let me know if you want to do a sew along or me to compile, just kind of like a step-by-step video series on doing the Zinnia skirt, because I think, you know, that could be fun. So yeah, all right. So I am going to move along to the blather segment, a segment where I chat about what's been happening in my life, should you care to stick around. But first, just a quick little update or heads up about my shop update tomorrow, or if you're watching this, it is already Friday. I am having a shop update Friday, July 12th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So as always, you can be looped in about what colorways and bases are going to be in each update by signing up for the newsletter. I send one out every week, so you can do that by going over to my website and just entering, you know, clicking on the newsletter link and entering your email, and you'll automatically be looped in on all that good stuff. And I am trying to incorporate some, you know, behind the scenes stuff that happens here at Voolenvine Yarns headquarters, you know, for those who subscribe to the newsletter, just to give you little extra bonuses every week. So it's not just me bombarding you with, you know, just here's what colorways are going to be in the shop, you know, just to make it a little bit more fun. And the other thing I want to point out is, like, I also do share what you guys have been making with my yarn, which I have to say, like, the most rewarding thing about dyeing yarn is getting to see, like, what you make with that yarn, and just, you know, seeing all my yarn babies grow up into, like, these beautiful accessories, shawls, garments, and everything. So I really have fun going through Instagram and Ravelry and finding all of your beautiful, beautiful projects and sharing them in the newsletter. And it also gives other people inspiration as well. So, you know, if you find yourself in a creative schlump, I find that those, you know, can kind of spur a little inspiration when it comes to knitting. So yeah, and if you do want to share your projects with me and everybody else, feel free to tag me on Instagram using hashtag VoolenvineYarns. So yeah, it's really fun to keep up with that. So anyway, let's get into life stuff. I'm trying to think. Yeah, otherwise it's just been a kind of like a crazy, crazy week. Just trying to, you know, doctor's appointment, going to the city. We also had our backyard renovated. We had some workers come by. This may sadden you guys a little bit if you've been with me from the beginning. You know, when I post photos of my makes, or the beginning of the podcast is like a beautiful shot of my ivy wall from the backyard. That wall is pretty much the mascot of, you know, all of my photo shoots and the podcast and everything. But sadly, the ivy wall is no more. We put in a new fence that makes our backyard look so much nicer, guys. I can't even, you know, while I do miss the ivy wall, the other parts of our backyard were an eyesore. I'm not gonna lie. We had this ugly metal fence that when we first moved in, it was just like a dented metal fence that was graffitied on from, I don't know, squatters before anyone came to renovate this place. So we covered that up with bamboo walling or fencing, which, you know, is a temporary solution, but doesn't look great. And then when we first moved in, we had contractors come in and just put a makeshift wall in the back to separate our yard from our neighbor's backyard, which nobody was living in at the time. So anyway, it was a hodgepodge, slapdash, put together kind of backyard, if you will. But that ivy wall was just so awesome. Like every summer it would just grow in, and you know, I'd have this awesome backdrop for all my photos. But sadly, it is no more. But hopefully, you know, we're gonna stain the new wall, so it'll have like this really nice color to it, and I can use that to take some photos as well. And you know, it won't be the same, but you know, them's the breaks. But yes, that pretty much took over our entire weekend, and some friends were in town, so we went to visit with them. And then yeah, this weekend I'm going to be hunkering down and just getting some more sewing done, working on my summer capsule wardrobe. That, yeah, it's I feel like it's a constant work in progress. And I need to finish this girl right here, my corset. So all that's left to do is pretty much finish the flossing on here, and she's done, and I can talk about it and take photographs. It's gonna be awesome. And I have to sew a chemise to go with it. But anyway, that's for another podcast, another episode. But yeah, that is it for this week, guys. Thank you, as always, so much for hanging out with me this week. I put out a new episode every Friday, although I am toying with the idea of switching it to Wednesdays. My schedule right now is a little up in the air, so that is TBD. But thank you so much again for all your input last week on that. I'm happy to know that, you know, you guys are open to having a new episode on Wednesdays instead of Fridays. But yeah, I do put an episode out at least once a week, so if you did enjoy this episode, feel free to like and subscribe below. And that said, happy knitting, happy sewing, happy making, and I'll see you next time. Bye!